this way.
Hey, welcome back. It is time to make oven roasted spaghetti squash. So we have Chef Jim Warner with us today from the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. And I have made this before. My husband doesn't like it, so I'm guessing that I'm maybe just not making it as well as I could.
I'll show you a couple of tips to make sure your husband really loves
Thank
this.
you. I'll eat it, but he's a little pickier. So we have the spaghetti squash.
Yes, we do.
And how are we going to cook it? What's the easiest way to prepare it?
The best way to prepare this is to really take a look at it. And what we'll do is we're going to cut this down the center. We're going to cut this directly in half. So you want to make sure you have the right tools to do the job.
Okay.
So we're going to take a large French knife. We're going to split that right down the center.
Yeah.
And we're going to cut it through the other end.
Okay.
Take all the seeds out, and then we're going to roast this on a roasting pan. We're going to roast this cut side down on the roasting pan to make sure we get dry heat coming down from the top.
Okay.
And we get the moist heat coming up from the bottom, and that allows all the spaghetti squash here to come out. And you'll see here, as we drag this through, the spaghetti squash will come out, and you'll see then why it gets its names, because it's nice and stringy.
It seems like it comes out much easier. See, I was already doing it wrong.
Okay.
It already comes out much easier that way than it did when I would cook it. I would cook it whole and then poke holes in it.
Oh, okay.
But it just, yeah, so okay.
Well,
all
the
right,
secret
step
behind,
one.
yeah, that's step one. So the secret behind this is to really make sure that when you take it out of the oven, you're going to put it into a plastic bag to allow it to steam a little bit, and that'll allow the spaghetti squash strands to come off the shell a little bit easier.
All right,
But don't put it in when it's right out of the oven, because it'll go right through the bag and you'll have a problem.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right.
You don't want to do that. So we're going to move these out of here. We have the roasted tomato sauce that we used, Roma tomatoes. Now the Roma tomatoes, what we did is we took regular Romas and we roasted these, and the thing that's different from what we did with the squash is we roasted the Romas cut side up.
Okay.
Because we want them to dry out. We want them to really concentrate the sauce and the flavor.
All right.
So we took this, we threw this into a Ninja and made a sauce.
Okay.
Which was really, really simple to do.
And you just cut these and roasted these last night, and then you just put them in the Ninja when just right after they're ready.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you can store this for about 3 or 4 days. And actually this freezes very, very well.
It smells really good.
So
too.
it's
really
something that you
fresh.
can use in advance. So once we have the sauce, we have that heated here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to saute the spaghetti squash. And what we'll do with the spaghetti squash is we're going to allow the pan to heat. We're down a little bit of olive oil to the pan. And once you see the oil start to move a little bit around in the pan, then you know the pan is ready.
Okay.
We're going to hit the spaghetti squash with that, add a little bit of salt and pepper to that, and we'll be ready to go.
And that's pretty much, I mean, so how long would this usually take you if you're coming home from work, getting everything ready for everybody?
If you have all the prep done, this should take you no more than 20 minutes to get a really healthy meal together. So it's a great way to start the week. You got a lot of colors in here. You've got a lot of nutrients. So you've got the yellows, the reds, the greens. It's all good. And
it's a good way. I mean, I think that spaghetti squash is a good, change up from pasta. I don't know if it tastes exactly the same, but when you put the sauce on it, do you find that people don't see much of a difference?
People know it's spaghetti squash, but really the first thing is to get them to taste it. And once they taste it, they realize that, hey, this is not so bad.
Yeah.
So it's really taking that first step to say, hey, you want to give this a try? And once they do, they're really surprised at how good it tastes.
Is there anything else that we should remember when it comes to just preparing this spaghetti squash? What did you say? Did you put anything on it before you cooked it?
Yeah, before we roasted it, we took the seeds out and I sprinkled some olive oil on this and a little bit of salt and pepper. And what I use for salt and pepper is a mixture of kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper, 2 parts kosher salt and 1 part coarse ground black pepper. And I use the black pepper as kind of a marker.
Yeah.
And that way, if you look here, when I put that on there, I know that the black pepper will tell me, based on the fact that I have 2 times the amount of salt, I've got twice as much salt as pepper that I have on here.
Okay.
So it's a way to season less.
Just kind of, yeah.
Use less salt.
It makes it a little more visual for you.
It makes it a little more visual, and it's very tactile, so you don't tend to, use as much.
Yeah.
So the pan here is getting pretty hot. We're going to go ahead and add some of our spaghetti squash.
Okay.
And when you add this to the pan, you're going to want to hear that sizzle, because that allows you to know that the pan is ready to go and the food is hot. So we're going to move this around a little bit. I'm going to season this again with a little bit of salt and pepper. And the best part about this is I'm going to allow you to do this.
Okay.
Is to be a real home cook and a real home chef is you want to get the height on the salt and pepper because it looks cool. When you really do it.
Just like kind of like this.
There you go. There you go. Look at that. Okay.
Damn.
She's an expert. She's going to be hired. You'll see her at Lindy's next week.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
That's exactly where I'll be. Not cooking.
So we're going to saute this, and you'll see when we saute this, it starts to brown a little bit. And what that is that's the caramelization. That's the natural sugars that's in the spaghetti squash, adding a little more flavor to this. So we're
Yes.
not adding any more sugar into it. We're taking the sugar that's naturally in the squash, changing the chemical structure a little bit, and it becomes sweeter.
There you go.
So-
That's a lesson.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of a few of our chives, add these to the sauce.
The finishing touches here.
Here's the finishing touches.
You just go ahead and put that out there on there.
Here's our red sauce that we
good.
have here in the center. And
Nice
again,
and homemade.
very much so. We're gonna put that right in the center. The squash is very hot.
And then we'll just plate that up. Hey, thank you so
squash.
much for coming in. It smells delightful now. We won't be able to get through the show without without wanting to eat some of it. If you want any more information on these recipes, you can always just go over to our website, NBC4i.com. Look at that. That is all star.
Isn't this amazing?
Fantastic.